Welcome back to Collectible Stonks. My name is Yamel. Glad to have you guys here today. And today I'm just going to ramble to you guys. I don't know, I just had this kind of thought after I noticed several TCGs doing this. And it's what I like to call the alpha investments effect, aka the Rudy effect. So, again, for those of you who don't follow Alpha Investments, aka Rudy, really good channel to follow, especially for the market of collectibles, TCGs, things like that. He's really knowledgeable. Definitely recommend you guys follow him. But essentially, I want to say that Alpha Investments popularized the current TCG trend that we have seen that probably started with Flesh and Blood. Right, so for those of you who don't know what Flesh and Blood is, I'm sure you do. It's one of the bigger TCGs out there. Essentially, right, Rudy from Alpha Investments decided to, go ahead and offer, Flesh and Blood to his patrons back in like 2019. He was selling kits for like $70. Came with like a Welcome to Wrath Alpha box and all sorts of cool stuff, right? Which led to, at first many people were against it. They didn't believe in the product, yada, yada, yada. And then, lo and behold, Flesh and Blood goes through a giant boom during the TCG boom that happened late 2019. I'm sorry. It was 2018 or 2019 when it was 2019 when he offered those. So in the TCG boom of 2020, we saw Flesh and Blood just kind of skyrocket, right? At least slowly but surely. So once 2021 rolled around, we could see, we were seeing, at least in the beginning, we were seeing Welcome to Wrath boxes, Welcome to Wraith, whatever, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I think it's pronounced Wrath. Welcome to Wrath boxes we're seeing selling for like $10,000 a box. Like, it was ridiculous. It was absolute, like, bonkers, right? Now, on top of that, right, Rudy ended up making a deal with Flesh and Blood, and he became like an official partner / distributor of the product. He actually has monthly sales of Flesh and Blood, usually comes with exclusive promotional mats, promotional cards, etc. But we saw that a lot of people, starting with Flesh and Blood, they noticed the amount of money that was missed out, I should say. And so that led to a lot of FOMO. And but it's funny because when Metazoo did this, right? Metazoo actually partnered with Rudy. Now, here's the thing: Rudy he's a financial guru. He actually worked for Wall Street, all that stuff, and he believes that, he will only partner up with card games or card companies that actually have, in his opinion, a chance of surviving. They have to have a good plan. They have to have 10, 15, 20-year plan type of thing before he will decide if it's worth investing and selling to his patrons, etc. So he ran a Metazoo first edition sale for, I think it was like, you get 2 boxes, a bunch of first edition product. It was like $500. Came with an exclusive Rudy card. And of course, a lot of people at the time were just like, oh, Metazoo's a ripoff of Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. It's not a whatever, And people missed out on it. They decided, he still sold out, I believe. But then he decided to, people just decided it's not worth it. So what happened was, sure enough, fast forward a couple months, all of a sudden, those 2 boxes are selling for like $600, $700 a pop. So, and the card itself was selling for like $200, $300, plus all the other first edition items that came with it. It was selling for a lot of money. So people instantly who bought 2 kits were making $3,000, $4,000 in profit. And that just caused everybody to go on this even bigger FOMO after they thought, I missed out on product. Maybe I didn't really believe in Metazoo, but, $3,000, $4,000 in profit for just buying something a couple months back. It gets a lot of people thinking. Now, since then, a lot of new card games have gone the way of Flesh and Blood and Metazoo, right? Specifically Metazoo. Metazoo has been a trailblazer for the Kickstarter TCGs, and I want to say Flesh and Blood was the trailblazer for teaming up with big content creators like, Rudy from Alpha Investments, offering promotional cards, promotional play mats, all that stuff to sell to his patrons. And then Metazoo kind of followed that as well. But Metazoo really did kick off the Metazoo TCG boom. It really had. And so, you know, I woke up this morning and I kept seeing, you know, Genesis TCG, you know, Boundless TCG, Blight something TCG. A lot of TCGs have just started to crop up on Kickstarter. I've noticed that some other content creators are getting exclusive promotional cards to go with those new TCGs, teaming up with them. And it's just nuts. I feel like people right now are buying into everything and anything, which is scary. Now, the only other card game that I have actually even put any money on, so I put money into Dreambook TCG simply because I really like the, you know, I guess it's like a chess type of card game. You know, you can move up and down. I saw it on Ted's Basement channel. Really thought it looked cool, so I put a pre-order in for I might even offer it on my store. I don't know. But other than that, I think I bought like a $50 Blightburn promo from Kickstarter because I thought it looked cool. But other than that, I'm seeing all these other TCGs that are cropping up. Some of them look phenomenal. Others look eh. But I'm really wondering how many of those will actually survive. At this point where, you know, Flesh and Blood, here to stay unless something catastrophic happens to the brand, to the game. And even then, I think right now there's an even bigger focus on the players of the game. In fact, I believe Red Zone Row, shout out to him, he actually put out like a little, I guess, leak from LSS that says, you know, they're moving away from the collector's game to more of an actual player's game. And they're moving away from cold foils and rainbow foils being so, I guess, sought after. So now they're going to be including them in like theme decks and you know, things like that. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool for people that just want to play the game. Metazoo is here to stay. Let's be honest. Between Metazoo and Flesh and Blood, I think Metazoo, obviously because of its huge IP, as you can see, I mean, they're doing an Invasion Toys crossover. I'm wondering if that means we're going to get like statues, whatever, figures. But Metazoo, I think that's it, man. Like it's here. It's here to stay. They have a great roadmap. They have great plans. But all these other new TCGs, you know, minus a couple of a few like Nostalgics, I think is another one that's pretty popular. What's another one? D Spirits is another one that's getting some traction as well. But really, I don't know how all those will do in comparison to Metazoo, because Metazoo really just caught fire at just the right moment. Like it really did. Like everything just started falling together, like at the right moment for Metazoo, with their Kickstarter, with their booster boxes, with the fans. And now, if I'm in the recent Metazoo hour, I think Mike mentioned something about he's glad that he managed to accomplish everything he has done up till now in 1 year instead of 10 years. So that just kind of goes to show you that his original 10-year plan, you know, was pretty conservative. You know, now that we're seeing all these, you know, collaborations, Invasion Toys, he's talking with Funko, he's talking with, you know, and I mean, they're having a $250,000 tournament in, I believe it's Dallas, something like that. Like, and it's been a year since he officially released first edition. Like, can you just wrap your head around that? Like, it took Flesh and Blood like 2 or 3 years before they could even get a tournament going in with the Collins, I believe. Well, I should say a big scale tournament of like, you know, a lot of money. And I could be wrong on that. You know, put it down below if I'm wrong. But essentially, like, to be able to do this $250,000 tournament in the span of a year's time, like, Metazoo is booming. It is growing extremely quickly, and I just do not know how all these other Kickstarter TCGs, how all these other, you know, random TCGs that are partnering with other content creators are going to do, at least long term, right? And then it's going to get to the point where there's just going to be, in my opinion, there's going to be just too many TCGs in a given space, and a lot of them are going to fail. A lot of these TCGs will fail. And so I guess what this video is about is, you know, if you like the game, buy some product, test it out, have fun. You know, that's what the game is all about. Even if it fails, it's a game that you could probably play with your friends or family if you really enjoy it, right? But if you guys are strictly putting in money left and right because of the FOMO that was created with Alpha Investments and his exclusive Patreon, and how people are seeing from the outside in how much money the Patreons have made, I mean, I'm included in that. I will never ever get rid of my Patreon for Alpha Investments, because I mean I've made several $1,000s just reselling or opening up product from him that he offers for his exclusive sales, things like that. I'm never going to get rid of that Patreon account. So I don't know. I guess be cautious what you guys invest in. Collectibles definitely hold value long term. It's one of the few hobbies that I think hold value long term, where you can purchase a card for $20 today, and in like 3 to 5 years that card may be worth $60 to $100. So be wary of where you put your money. Obviously, only buy stuff that you guys actually enjoy. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Metazoo, I mean, this is now a Metazoo focused channel. It is what it is. This is a Metazoo focused channel. There's so many TCGs, and I would love to be able to cover all of them. But I've come to realize that my first love was Flesh and Blood. But then Metazoo came around, and I just, my love for Metazoo just transcended Flesh and Blood. I still love Flesh and Blood. I think it's a great game, great artist, great artwork on the cards, really unique mechanics, really cool mechanics, really fun gameplay. And Metazoo, while I have yet to play it, and it may just be the artwork, I just love the collectability aspect of Metazoo. I love what they're doing. I love all the business verticals they're expanding into. A lot of people may not like that. A lot of people have a lot of criticism regarding how much, how many collaborations they're dropping on a monthly basis. But here's the thing, Mike is smart. All the Metazoo talk continues month in and month out. There's always something new, basically on a weekly basis, that we can talk about regarding Metazoo. And it's really fun, man. I really enjoy covering Metazoo. I mean, at this point, this is probably my primary content going forward. It will be Metazoo. I may actually make other content here and there. Maybe when I get the Dream Book stuff, I may actually open it up here for the channel, just to see what it's like, stuff like that. And I may do some box openings for some popular product for I don't know, like Pokemon, for example, what's the new one, Brilliant Stars, things like that. I may do occasionally, but the primary focus on this channel is Metazoo. I absolutely love Metazoo. I love following them. I love talking about them. So yeah, I mean, that's it, y'all. Essentially, just be careful with all the new TCGs. Don't put too much money into something that you don't actually enjoy, and that you're only putting money into with the thought of, I'm going to make a ton of money off of this, and like I said, several creators have started going the route that Alpha Investment has, Patreon accounts with, Patreon sales, which is really cool. Awesome way to support the content creator while also getting some benefit as a patron, right? So shout out to Ted's Basement. He's offering some pretty cool deals. I know he's been doing that recently. Pretty cool stuff that he's got going on. Alpha Investments, of course, can't complain about that. Absolutely love everything Rudy does. For the community and for the market. I mean, a lot of people don't like them. I like them. You guys can shit on me all you want. I enjoy Alpha Investments. But, just be wary. If you absolutely love something, try it out. Give it a shot. But don't sink a ton of money into something that you are not sure of, because there's too many TCGs that are popping up right now. And there's only so much money that we have. So I'm very hesitant on putting too much money on multiple TCGs, simply because there's just not enough to go around. There's just way too many card games right now. A lot of people may get fatigued because of these card games. So again, just be careful. Be wary of what you put your money into, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Excuse the dirty background. It's not really dirty. It's just I didn't make my bed. And you may notice I got a fresh new haircut. We out here. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I will talk to you guys next time. Appreciate y'all.